Following is a conversation between me and Jurgen from Digital Freedoms talking about Software Freedom Day, an event to celebrate and promote software freedom. For a long time, the event was basically dead, but following a recent revival, Jurgen wanted to promote the event and encourage people to run their own and really bring this back to the form it used to be in. This is a short excerpt from that conversation. If you want to see the entire thing, it'll be live over on Tech Over Tea a day after this video drops. So sit back, enjoy, and hey, I hope you learned something.
So I'm Jurgen. I'm one of the 5 board members of Digital Freedom Foundation. The foundation has existed for since 2004, actually. I stepped up in the board in 2023, but that's another story. We'll get back to that. So I've been a big fan of Software Freedom Day since 2011, when I organized it for the first time, because I think this is such a great event. And that's why I'm here. But actually, the board is a bunch of volunteers. It's me. It's Marco stepped down. He had to step down for private reasons recently. Mustafa lives in Iran. He had to step down last year for obvious reasons. But we have Ruan, we have Chris from Germany, we have Laura from the USA, and we have Joe, who also from the States, who stepped in not the very first day when we made the board, but quite soon after that. And so there's like a community of board members all around the world. We had each other beforehand, and so because we thought it was important that Software Freedom Day didn't perish after the whole COVID story, we stepped up and we took the fire over from the previous board.
So I think the best place to start is for anyone who is completely unaware of what any of this is. What is Software Freedom Day? What are the aims of the event?
Well, Software Freedom Day, I mean, everybody listening to your podcast is half a nerd and probably already knows what Linux is and won't be surprised about the importance of software freedom. So I'm not going to go there because that's old news for you.
Sure.
But the big difference between most of the Con, UbuCon, FOSCon, all those open source events is that's an event where you invite people who already are involved, and you deepen your knowledge, you deepen your engagement, you build your community, while Software Freedom Day is about surprising people. So you go to a library, you go to a mall, a pub, and there you show off what you can do with open source. So you often hear about free software, amateur hour, or being incapable or whatever. I mean, that's old news. We don't hear that much anymore, but just show how it works and how great it is, how privacy respecting it is, how blah blah blah. I don't have to tell you the story.
Right.
You're surprising people, and that's the fun part. There's a big difference between Software Freedom Day and all those other great events. I mean, I go to FOSDEM every year, so don't tell me about it.
But the idea here is less of a singular organized event and more of a distributed thing around the world.
Indeed. So Software Freedom Day it's more like a topical day. I mean, you have Animal Day and you have Mother's Day and whatever. So it's a day picked back in the days. Matt picked the third Saturday of September for Software Freedom Day. And on that specific day, it's a birthday party. We celebrate. And like every birthday party, sometimes you pick just that day. But if it works better, you postpone it with a week or maybe 2 weeks even, because of a holiday. But your local community celebrates it. So it's a physical event, ideally, where you meet with a small community that can be 2 or 3 people even, and you say, let's surprise somebody else, or let's surprise other people with whatever you're good at. This can be making music, even play Tux Racer. I mean, just do something with how free software makes you happy. If you happen to know of a FOSS developer living in your area, surprise him with a song at his front door. I mean, do whatever you want, but don't make me sing because it won't to make this a developer happy. Um, so basically, it's about a positive vibe. It's about sharing the good news, about being happy about how this software freedom story tells us a lot.
Mhm. So this year, when is it taking place?
This year, it's happening on September the 19th.
Mhm.
So that's quite a while from now. But I'd rather teams who are considering this start early. And starting early actually is quite simple. I mean, you can make a big thing out of it, but basically, if you're with two people and a laptop, you can start. There have been communities in the early years who printed flyers, printed balloons, and just walked the streets and handed out the stuff and say, "Look, this is how to be free on your computer." And so it can be as simple as walking on the streets, but often it's just pick a venue. This could be a library or it could be a pub. I already gave the examples, and just ask their permission and ask if you can show off something and say it's not commercial. It's just me showing a few things, and I think people will like it. And quite often they can hand you a corner or a room or a place, and then you start promoting it. Maybe print a simple poster, hang it in the local shopping mall, and yeah, just start off. And this can be small. And if you then also register your event on digitalfreedoms.org, the website for Software Freedom Day, and you register your event there, you'll see that you of a global community, and this also gives your gives your event more of a community vibe, a big vibe. I mean, even if there's only two of you or three of you, but you know that there's over 100 events all around the world, and maybe with your help, 200 this year. So, I mean, if there's events all over the world, it makes you feel connected with it, and this gives like a really great vibe. And there are communities who are have become so small or so spread out that actually physically organizing something is quite difficult. So then there is also, because that's maybe one of the merits of COVID, that we have developed this whole online ecosystem. I mean, it's quite easy to also live stream or record or just do something online, even if it's a chat. I mean, it's as high tech or as low tech as you want.
So a big part of the reason why you want to come do this is sort of to encourage people to go and like run their own events. So I guess like what sort of goes into setting up something like that? Because you mentioned you can like go to your library and do things. Like if somebody has like no idea like where they'd even like start, but then maybe they're interested in doing something, where's a good place to start with this and sort of get the ball rolling?
Well, if you go to digitalfreedoms.org, our website, of course, you can register your event there. But there's also like a blog with a bunch of testimonies from bigger and smaller events. Sam from the UK in 2024, he organized a nature walk. So he talked to people early, and he said early in the morning, let's come over at, I think it was 6 o'clock, 6:30. I don't know, unholy hour. And he went into the nature, and so he took his crew of he was alone, so he had like 10 people maybe, not that big. He took them for a nature walk. He ended in like a bird spotting hut, and there he demonstrated his laptop and his his Fairphone, and so he showed off the software that he used to 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 be more free in all the senses of the word, but also how this was more ecological, and this tied in perfectly into the nature story. So you just start from your own life, from your own experience, from what touches you. If you're a privacy nerd, go the privacy thing all the way. If you're all into nature, go ecological. If you're like, I'm an artist, well, just take your graphics tablet, take Inkscape or Krita or whatever you have, and show off your talents. I mean, show people how the free software doesn't get in the way and how you can make yourself a better version of yourself through that.
You did mention also on the notes we have here, because we have notes this time, another group that did something in Nepal.
Yeah, sure. Indeed, that was last year. So I don't know if you remember in Nepal and in the whole region there was a lot of Gen Alpha uprising, and with very brutal attacks, and so in Nepal there was actually even a group, and I found this very inspiring. These people, they went into the mountain. I don't think they even had a laptop with them. They just went, a bunch of students, IT students, to reflect about their role. So this was like more. They have been organizing Software Freedom Day for years, and they had invited me to give like an online keynote speech this year. And then all of a sudden these uprisings came and things changes a bit. So they didn't organize it in their own campus, but then they moved into the mountains, and they had held like more like a meditation kind of event. So that's also, I think, an interesting approach for Software Freedom Day, to reflect as IT professionals, what role do I want to play in this dynamically changing world of IT. I mean, if you're going to be a developer, or you're going to walk along in the bigger cloud AI trend, or are you going to make it? Yeah, sure, do those things, because they are new and they are interesting and they have their place. But are you gonna just roll the ball and roll along, or are you gonna be somebody who wants to make a difference, who wants to make this world a better place?
But it's sort of like the overarching point here is it doesn't just have to be, something like, oh, I'm demonstrating this Linux distro. Like, there's a bunch of different ways that you can sort of show off what software freedom is.
Yes, indeed. And I think one pitfall that you should watch out for is not to nerd out. I mean, a big one, especially if you're like in the public place, and your audience is just people who bought new shoes. You don't want to harass them with PKIs and tell them about how evil the big companies are. Let's not go negative. Let's stay positive. Let's talk about how great the software is. Let's not badmouth other companies. That helps nobody.
We kind of already touched on this before, but like, any advice you'd have for people sort of hosting an event?
Yeah, sure. So the key is, of course, have a venue, or know where you're going to do it. I have noticed that this is getting sometimes a bit more difficult than I thought it was, but maybe I have the luxury because I'm a member of our hackerspace here, and I just say I'm organizing, and people say sure, when. So that's, I think, an underestimated luxury for me. But if you have contacts with the school, or even if you go to a pub and just say, look, everybody pays for its drinks, so you'll have an extra revenue, and if we can just have a corner there, it would be great. You'll have some extra people. Have a location, have a few people, and start early. And I would say, if you already have the idea of, I want to organize this event, well, just go to the website, put your event on the map, and this will encourage other people to also join, because if it's harder to put your event on an empty map than if there's already 20 events on there. And so register early, even if you don't know what you're going to do yet. It also helps because that way psychologically you have already committed. And for us, it also helps because what part of what Digital Freedom Foundation does is we're looking for a few sponsors to help pay for swag. And this swag is like a banner and these iron-on patches, so you can see you can pimp your own clothes. A few stickers. We're trying to make it more sustainable, so not too much balloons and stickers and throwaway stuff, but more ecological stuff. But so if you register early, you can also tell the community tell us that you would like to get the Shrek pack for free or for a small donation, and that way we can also visually connect all the events around the world. I mean, if that same banner is hanging in Nepal and in Louisiana and in Bogota and in Australia, I mean, if it's the same banner everywhere and you see pictures happening, this creates like a community feeling. And I think inside our let's be honest, inside our nerd community, I think we've been falling to the inside too much.
Do you like what is like a let's just say everything goes really well. What would be your like ultimate goal for one of these years to happen?
Oh, my ultimate
like
goal is
far out there, probably not going to happen, but like dream desire for this.
That every city in the world organizes has a small community organizing Software Freedom Day that also attracts new young people who then understand how software freedom is important because it connects everything. Also, I hope, I mean, other than Software Freedom Day, we have like 3 events, but Software Freedom Day is the biggest one. And because we're only 5 volunteers, and really volunteers who don't get paid, we're doing this after hours if we have some time left. So we don't if everything goes great, it would be great if we could also have more events around Document Freedom Day, which is actually happening March 25th. So while we're recording, it's tomorrow. And it's a Hardware Freedom Day because open and free hardware, document standards, and software are like the 3 legs of a milking chair. And this is how you get your stuff in balance. And if we can celebrate these 3 events and give the other 2 also more focus, that's my ultimate dream, so that we could and reach also policymakers and businesses with this insight that this is the way to go.
I guess to the people that are watching the video, because I'll probably cut this section just after this, do you have any final words you would like to say either about the event or anything else to sort of, however you want to sign this bit off? Inspire people, maybe? I don't know.
Well, first of all, thank you for listening, because this is an important story, and the fact that you're listening to this and still are means that you're kind of hooked already. So don't be shy. Get out of your cozy Linux user group or hackerspace or whatever it is where everybody already knows the point, and organize something, because maybe you're complaining in your log or in your hackerspace about how everybody is growing old, but it's partly your own fault. I mean, when's the last time you invited over some people who are not your nerds yet? So just don't be shy, invite them over and have fun. I mean, and have fun, register the event, and the rest will come.
Okay. If you want to hear the rest of this conversation, this will be uploaded a few days after this video comes out. So check that out on the podcast channel. Yeah,